The Grand Council chamber of the Varathian Empire stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian floor, its ceiling lost somewhere in the artificial twilight above. 10,000 delegates from across the galaxy sat in perfect silence as Diana Chen walked toward the central podium, her boots clicking against the stone with a rhythm that echoed like a war drum. She was alone. No guards, no advisors, no fleet waiting in orbit. Just one human woman in a simple gray suit, carrying nothing but a data tablet and a burden that weighed heavier than any weapon. The Varathian High Arbiter, a being whose crystalline form refracted light into 1,000 colors, leaned forward on his throne. His voice resonated through the chamber with the grinding patience of continental plates. Human Diana Chen, you stand before the assembled powers of the Varathian Empire and its 300 client species. You have requested this audience under the Treaty of Andromeda's neutral negotiation clause. State your purpose. Diana stopped at the podium. She placed her tablet down with deliberate care, then looked up at the sea of alien faces. Some with eyes, some with sensor arrays, some with organs humans had no names for. All of them watched her with the same expression she'd seen before, dismissive curiosity, the way one might observe an insect that had wandered into a museum. 72 hours ago, Diana began, her voice steady and cold. Your 4th expansion fleet entered the Sol system. You deployed kinetic bombardment platforms in orbit around Earth. You destroyed our colony on Mars. You killed 4 million human beings. A ripple of something passed through the assembly. Not quite laughter. Perhaps the galactic equivalent of a bemused sigh. The High Arbiter's crystalline form shifted, refracting the light into sharp angles. The 4th Fleet was conducting standard territorial assessment operations. Your species was flagged for preliminary evaluation under Imperial Expansion Protocol 37. The Mars installation was deemed a military outpost and responded with hostile intent. Standard pacification measures were applied. Pacification, Diana repeated, tasting the word like poison. You vaporized a settlement of families, scientists, children. My brother Kevin was among them. Your personal loss is noted, the Arbiter replied with the mechanical sympathy of a bureaucrat stamping forms. However, the Empire's expansion has proceeded under established interstellar law for 17,000 years. Lesser species are offered the opportunity to join as client members or face integration. Your resistance necessitated the demonstration. Such is the way of civilization. Diana's hands gripped the edges of the podium. For a moment she said nothing. Then she laughed. A short, sharp sound that cut through the chamber like breaking glass. The way of civilization, she said. Do you know what my brother said the last time we spoke? He called from Mars 3 days before you murdered him. He was excited because they'd just found evidence of ancient microbial life in the polar ice. Kevin said it meant we weren't alone in the universe. He said it meant we had neighbors to meet someday. She paused, letting the silence stretch. He was wrong. We don't have neighbors. We have predators who call themselves civilized. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien sounds, clicks, whistles, harmonic vibrations that translated through the universal comm system as outrage and indignation. The High Arbiter raised one crystalline appendage for silence. You dare accuse the Empire. I accuse you of making the single greatest mistake in your 17,000-year history. Diana interrupted, her voice rising. You assaulted our home. Not a colony. Not an outpost. Our home. The place where humanity was born, where every ancestor we've ever had lived and died. You came to Earth and you thought we were just another species to catalog and conquer. She tapped her tablet. Behind her, a holographic display materialized. Blue and green and achingly familiar. Earth rotating slowly, with a red marker highlighting the Martian orbit. Let me tell you about humans, Diana continued. We are a young species. We've barely left our cradle. We have no vast empire, no ancient technologies, no weapons that can crack planets. What we have is something you've apparently forgotten over your millennia of easy conquest. She leaned forward, her eyes scanning the assembly. We have memory. We have rage. And we have absolutely nothing left to lose. The High Arbiter's form flickered with what the translation matrix interpreted as confusion. Are you threatening the Empire? Your entire species possesses perhaps 500 functional warships. We command fleets that darken suns. I'm not threatening you, Diana said softly. I'm warning you. Because in the 72 hours since you killed my brother and 4 million other humans, something has happened on Earth, something you didn't anticipate because you've never encountered it before. She pulled up another display. This one showed manufacturing facilities, shipyards, resource extraction operations, all running at levels that made the assembly's translation matrices glitch, trying to find appropriate terms. Every human nation has united. Every corporation has nationalized its assets for the war effort. Every factory has retooled. Every mine has tripled its output. We've converted our entire civilization into a single purpose. Diana's voice dropped to a whisper that somehow carried to every corner of the vast chamber. We're coming for you. Impossible, someone called from the assembly. Such mobilization would require that we view this as an extinction-level event. Yes, Diana smiled, and there was no warmth in it. You see, you made a critical error. You attacked us assuming we'd surrender like your other conquests. You thought we'd calculate the odds, recognize your superiority, and submit. She tapped her tablet again. The display changed to show historical footage. Human cities burning, armies marching, mushroom clouds rising, and then rebuilding. Always rebuilding. We're the species that fought 2 world wars in 30 years. We're the species that split the atom and immediately wondered if we could use it as a weapon. We're the species that looked at our own planet's most hostile environments, the deep ocean, the frozen poles, the radiation-soaked deserts, and said, I wonder if we can live there. Diana's voice gained strength, rising like a tide. We've spent 10,000 years fighting each other because we had no one else to fight. We've developed technology specifically designed to kill other humans as efficiently as possible. We've written countless stories about alien invasions for the simple reason that we needed to imagine what we'd do if someone ever attacked our home. She stepped back from the podium, spreading her arms. And now you've given us a common enemy. You've given us a purpose. You've given every human being alive a reason to set aside every difference and focus on a single goal. Diana's eyes blazed. You've united humanity. The silence in the chamber was absolute. So here is what's going to happen, Diana continued. In 6 months, the first wave of human attack craft will reach your border systems. They won't be sophisticated. They won't be elegant. They'll be mass-produced kinetic missiles with human pilots who volunteered for one-way missions. In 12 months, we'll have antimatter weapons. In 18 months, we'll have something your empire has never seen because you've never needed it. And what is that? The High Arbiter asked, his voice for the first time carrying something other than absolute confidence. Desperation weaponized by intelligence, Diana said. Innovation born from rage. The entire creative capacity of 8 billion humans focused on a single question. How do we make you pay? She picked up her tablet. I didn't come here to negotiate. I came here to deliver a message from humanity. You wanted to evaluate whether we were worthy of joining your empire. Here's our evaluation of you. You're soft. You've been the dominant power for so long that you've forgotten what it means to face an enemy that would rather die than submit. Diana turned to leave, then paused. My brother Kevin believed in peaceful first contact. He dreamed of the day humans would walk among the stars as friends to other species. You killed that dream along with him. What's coming now? That's on you. She walked toward the chamber's exit, her footsteps echoing in the silence. Behind her, 10,000 delegates sat frozen, confronted with something their ancient empire had never encountered. A species too naive to know they were beaten and too stubborn to care. The High Arbiter finally spoke, his voice uncertain for the first time in centuries. What do you want? Diana stopped at the doorway. Without turning around, she answered, I want you to remember this moment. When the human fleets arrive at your core worlds, when your people look up at skies filled with ships bearing Earth's insignia, I want you to remember that you started this, and I want you to know that we're not coming to conquer you. She glanced back over her shoulder and her smile was terrible. We're coming to teach you what it means to assault someone's home. Then she was gone, leaving behind an empire that had, for the first time in its long history, begun to understand the meaning of fear.